Today on Roblox Dead Rails, we're going to find out the top 10 best classes in the entire game that'll help you win every single time. These classes can be utilized in multiplayer, single player, with a variety of playstyles, and just generally have the best performance. Also, yes, I know Variety J just did a video like this, but I've been working on the script for a couple days now, so oops. What we're looking for are classes that are going to give you the best buffs and what downsides they may have too. I'll be sure to cover. We'll be rating them from worst to best as well, so we can pick out what might be just the best class in the entire game. But of course, they're all going to be great classes on this list here. Make sure to hit that subscribe button if you end up enjoying the video. Make sure you let me know your favorite class in the comment section below. And without further ado, let's get into the top 10 best classes in all of Dead Rails. The horse. Oh my god, people got so mad at my last class tier list with my rating of the horse class. I wasn't that big of a fan of it before, but I've for sure had some time to play it, and well, I get it now. You see, the horse class is more than just you getting to be a silly, haha, funny little horse guy. You also get to move a decent bit faster than the default class, and you're also explosion proof. Yeah, no idea how that happened, but at least currently at the time of writing the script, the horse does not take damage from explosives, so it makes it a lot easier to beat areas like towns, and especially the Sterling Mine. It's effectively a direct upgrade over having no class, and while not the best class in the game, it really doesn't have any downsides other than slightly wonky movements. Sadly, it is a class that was limited to an event from a couple of weeks ago, with just a handful of nights to actually obtain it. Super solid, honestly kind of underrated. Packmaster is a class that I've praised since day one, and while I originally thought that it had something to do with packing up boxes in a warehouse, it is the complete opposite of that. With Packmaster, you're effectively the cool friend that has a bunch of dogs. You spawn with 3 wolves, and they effectively act as your private army, not only fighting for you, but distracting any enemies that you come across, making it great if you need to make a quick escape or just want a little bit of help whenever you're clearing a town. Now, of course, you can normally tame wolves anyway with any other class by using corpses, and you'll get the same effect. But what makes Packmaster so great over that is the fact that if you get bitten by a wolf, it becomes an ally instantly, allowing you to get hordes of wolves that'll be fighting alongside you. They're even great for the final boss to help buy you a little bit more time to do some damage so that you're not instantly targeted, and generally is just a great class. While it's not the highest on the tier list, it's very much deserving of top 10 in the entire game. Eggslinger is in a lot of ways a direct upgrade over Packmaster. Essentially, every 2 minutes you lay these randomly sized eggs, which if you hatch them, there's enemies inside that are basically just friendly to you and will fight for you. Now, the downside is unless you get wolves, you can't actually put them away in your sack, leaving you to just have to abandon them like my dad did to me all those years ago. Now, while similar in concept to Packmaster, this class is better utilized by just saving the eggs over a long period of time for tougher locations like the military base, castle, or even the final boss battle. But I think a lot of people will prefer this over the Packmaster class since you endlessly spawn eggs just by playing, so you don't actually have to go out searching for enemies that you can tame. And of course, you can have tougher enemies on your side as well, like wolves and outlaws. Great class, but sadly limited to another event that was from a couple of weeks ago. But hey, if you've got it, it's 100% a great class, and again, very well deserving of top 10. The newest addition to the game, and a very much hyped class right now, is going to be Milkman. Just take a look at any comment section where the Milkman is mentioned. Actually don't do that. Just don't. It's quickly become one of the best classes in the game, and kind of for good reason. On the surface, they don't really say anything about the class other than the more you're covered in milk, the more powerful you become. Kind of ominous, but it actually works exactly like it says. Because of the new potion system that we have in the game, we got a couple of different liquid types or drink types, including milk, which will randomly spawn around the game as you're looting. You can't directly drink the milk, but like any good sensible milkman, you can dump it all over yourself in a public space, and you'll effectively increase all of your stats, just like in real life. Basically, it just makes you, well, more powerful, like the description says. You move a lot faster. I think you do a bit more damage. I'll correct myself up on screen if I'm wrong about that. And the higher the percent of milk that you're covered in, the higher these stats will be. Super useful. You can move just like ridiculously fast. You just have to try it for yourself. And you also do spawn with a single glass of milk that'll let you get to 100% with like half the bottle. Sadly, it can be overshadowed by the fact that milk is not super common. I've only found a handful since the updates dropped, and I've been playing a fair amount, and I'm also pretty thorough with looting. Though generally still a very solid class. If you can get enough milk, it's extremely useful. And once you get going at max speed, or even like at 50%, legit nothing can stop you. The Alamo class used to be my favorite, but recently has kind of seen a hidden buff that you may not have actually even noticed. If you don't know, the Alamo was one of the original classes added to the game and comes with a few metal sheets and barbed wire. It gives you some really good early game protection, and frankly, it was all the armor you really needed if you wanted to allocate some dollar dues elsewhere, like buying 100 Molotovs for no reason. But with a recent update, the Alamo's gotten a secret buff. since most random items that you find have a semi-realistic penetration system now, so things like paper and barrels can be shot through super easily and are frankly useless as armor, which makes the armor of the Alamo class just that much more valuable, along with the addition, of course, of having an armored train as a just regular train class now, or even the cattle car for that matter. It makes it even easier to just throw a few things together and you never have to think about armor for your run again. It's a super simple concept with zero downsides, plus you get some free armor for your character as well in the form of a helmet. I really just can't say enough good about this class. I think it's honestly more OP now than it ever has been. While not essential for every run, though a very helpful class on any team or even solo, the High Roller. It's a fairly low-risk, high-reward class that gives you the chance to make a lot of money. Basically, all that it allows you to do is all money bags that you've collected give you 1.5 times the value. So essentially, you can fund your entire team just by having everybody drop all the expensive stuff to the High Roller, and within 1 or 2 safe areas, you can have an entire team just stacked. A 50% increase in money doesn't sound like it's going to be a lot in this game, but it adds up extremely quick for sure. It doesn't come without its downsides though, or I guess a downside technically, where you have a 10 times chance of getting struck by lightning, but like just don't go out when it's storming. What? Like who does that anyway? Unless you're the priest class, then you can do that, I guess. It's just free extra money, great for solo, great to have on a team. High Roller is just a great class in general, and it's extremely hard to go wrong with it. I feel like a lot of people are going to be a bit unhappy that the Conductor is this high on the list, but I really do like the Conductor class, and I feel like it's extremely underrated. It's just about perfect for any multiplayer or even solo games, and you'll never find somebody complaining on a team about your choice of class. It's a super simple premise. You spawn with some coal, you get a silly little hat, and you make the train drive 20 miles per hour faster than the base train speed. However, it too has its own shortcomings, being that you don't spawn with a melee. So if you don't have either of the gun game passes, it may be a bit harder early game if you actually play solo with it, though it is still a fantastic solo asset if you're trying to just speedrun the game, or if you just don't like waiting as long to get from area to area. Though the main place that it really shines is in multiplayer, allowing for you to travel really fast with your entire team, and letting you get from different locations really fast. Especially with the new armored train, while it takes a while to ramp up, you could still get to your normal maximum speed, and that kind of makes up the difference of having a slower acceleration for your train. It is a support class that very much holds its own. It's super fun, always love to see it being used. Our next class on the list is going to be Survivalist, and I feel like also a lot of people are going to be annoyed about this one because it's not at the top of the list, as Survivalist mains are feral whenever it comes to defending it. But I assure you, it's about tied with our next one on the list here, so don't scream, because yeah, this class is genuinely insane. So first, it comes with a Tomahawk, which does slightly more damage than the base shovel melee that you spawn with does, so that's already a plus there. However, the main selling point of Survivalist is going to be the fact that it does more damage the less health you have. So there's a ton of ways to implement this, whether it's like a panic class where if you're cornered and taking a bunch of damage, you can just start shredding everything around you, or you can play with perpetually low health so that way you always do maximum damage, and I assure you, that's a really fun way to play this class. And there's a number of other ways that you can utilize and mix and match both health and weapons to be able to absolutely maximize your damage. But that's really about it for Survivalist. It's a really simple concept. Less health equals more damage, and regardless of how you use it, it is an insane class that just comes in clutch every time that you need it to. It effectively has no downsides whatsoever as well, other than, if you want to call it a downside, having to be low health to do that more damage. But really, I view kind of that as more of a perk. Great choice, amazing class. I have so much fun playing it. As I said, I'd be tying Survivalist with our next class here, and that is going to have to be a Werewolf, as you just saw like 1 second ago. If you somehow don't know, Werewolf is one of the newest classes to the game, and probably the most overpowered class in the entire game to a degree, at least up until we get to our next and final class, but let's not take away from the class that we're on right now. Simply put, Werewolf gives you a 10% decrease in overall stats to your base character, so less damage, speed, health, etc. However, it gives you double the base stats at night, letting you run faster, double your damage, and of course have double the regular HP, letting you essentially take a lot more hits and putting classes like the Ironclad to shame. Really, I think this class definitely could use a rework. Now, arguably, one of the best things about this class is going to be the fact that in the current version of Dead Rails, there's a glitch that allows your double damage to stay for the rest of the game, letting you always do double damage. And it's extremely overpowered, and is really one of the reasons that I enjoy Werewolf so much. Again, no real downsides. I mean, yeah, 10% less overall stats during the day isn't amazing, but the trade-off is just so extremely good, effectively letting nighttime not remotely be scary and just making the game an absolute cakewalk. And it just lets you be a lot more free when looting. It makes up for that 10% 10 times over. Werewolf's insane. I can't recommend it enough. But our next class also has a secret buff that you may not be expecting that just kind of makes it the best on the list. Yeah, you knew it was going to end up on the list somewhere. The vampire was already one of the best classes in the game, getting you a huge speed increase at all times. You also spawn with probably the best melee weapon in the entire game, the vampire knife, which lets you heal for each time that you land an attack. However, it comes with some really annoying downsides like taking damage in direct sunlight, so it's a lot harder to loot or even explore at all during the day, limiting you to just being on your train or having to carry an abundance of medical items to keep yourself healed. Alternatively, of course, you could just kill everything around you with your vampire knife for perpetual healing. However, kind of the one thing that drew me away from vampire is the swing speed of the vampire knife was always really slow, just as it is with all melees. But with the most recent updates to the game, melees have arguably been generally nerfed, all except for the vampire knife. So in particular, as you're playing vampire, you do about double the melee damage, only taking 7 hits to kill zombies, but also you get such a fast swing speed, and combined with your movement speed and an endless stream of healing, you can clear out towns, even if you're getting absolutely swarmed. This class is just ridiculous to play, to where I wouldn't even bother with guns. Just use the vampire knife. You are literally unkillable. Vampire might just be the best class in the entire game right now, regardless of whether you're playing solo or multiplayer. It just melts everything around you. 10 out of 10, 1,000 times over, would recommend. Oh my gosh, we've done it. Those are going to be the top 10 best classes in all of Dead Rails, in my opinion, of course. And I think a lot of you are going to have to agree with me on this. There might be a class or two that you'd recommend having on the list, or maybe you'd swap a couple of places around. So make sure that you let me know your own top 10 list in the comments section below. However, while you're weeding through all the death threat comments, definitely consider hitting that subscribe button so you can keep up to date with all the latest and greatest Dead Rails content from yours truly. We're trying to hit 300k by the end of the year, and that'd be absolutely incredible if you can help with that. And hey, maybe join the Discord server link below too. That would be great. Big thanks, dudes. Big thanks to all the channel members up on screen, and as usual, I'll see y'all in the next video. Peace, dudes.